What's up, Spooky Buttercup? Welcome back to my channel. Today's book review is American Rapture by CJ Leede. Now, this is an apocalyptic horror novel. I'm probably going to mess up that word apocalyptic. Sorry in advance. But do note that I didn't say post-apocalyptic. This is going to be an interesting review because I'm already messing up. Side note, okay. So this book is set in the Midwest, and we follow 16-year-old Sophie, who's a devout Catholic, during a very bizarre flu epidemic that mutated into a very dangerous strain called Sylvia, where if caught, you will be overcome by lust and violence and then die. There's no cure for Sylvia, though they do kind of make a vaccine. So please note there's a lot of violence and SA. Please avoid if that's going to be too much for you. And I say that it's not post-apocalyptic because we're going on the journey of this strain going through a lot of East Coast states and then jumping into the Midwest where Sophie is, and this area, Forston, has a high population of Catholics, like very extreme Catholics. So she was not exposed to most things. She was very sheltered. So this is a huge surprise. Now, I'm just going to read the brief blurb in this book. It is accurate to the novel. We love to see when that happens. And like I said, it's brief, so it doesn't go over everything, but I think it will give you enough context. Never been kissed, about to get screwed. A virus is spreading across America, transforming the infected and making them feral with lust. Sophie, a good Catholic girl, must survive the hellscape of the Midwest to try and save her twin brother while the world around her burns. Along the way, she discovers there are far worse fates than dying a virgin. The writer, CJ, speaks heavily on religious abuse and trauma, as well as sexism, homophobia, what good versus evil means, religious cults, and religious violence. And it also talks about SA. And if you don't know what SA is, I hope no one reports me, but I'm talking about sexual violence. Now, the cover is absolutely gorgeous, and it's our main character on the cover in saintly clothing with stigmata on one of her palms. Sophie is pushed into the real world due to this deadly outbreak, and she must come to terms with how sheltered she is and her prejudices as well. No spoiler review, because I do recommend this book for those that can handle it. Things happen. Yes, they do, because it's a story. Yes, okay. Things happen where then she wants to go out. She needs to go out and find her twin brother, Noah. So that pushes her away from Forston, where everyone is extremely sheltered. Actually, not everyone is extremely sheltered. They're sheltered, but she's really, really sheltered. And actually, a lot of it comes down to her mother, and then also a few things that her brother did. And I'm not saying what he did, but then she was sheltered even more after her brother was shipped away. We'll get into that a little later, though. And that's not a spoiler because you can kind of tell from the context of that short blurb that her brother's not in the same place. He's somewhere else, okay? Don't come at me in the comments. There's a lot of violence, and I think CJ writes that well. And as I said, there is a lot of SA, and I think she also writes that with respect. It's really hard to read, but you're already kind of getting into things are not going to be okay because it's apocalyptic horror, and this virus, flu, whatever it is, has mutated, and the infected people are absolutely feral with lust, as the blurb says. So, feral with lust, there's the hint there that it's not good. it's not consensual a lot of the time. Also, the writer does a great job of speaking on hopelessness, despair, helplessness, confusion, terror, and also love and kindness. I think there is a bit more of the, I guess, negative emotions, but it is a horror novel. Okay, so it's not gonna be unicorns farting out candy, but there is love, kindness, respect, care, all of that paired with the negatives just going on in a world that's kind of sort of crumbling, but not there yet. And they're trying really hard not to get to the post-apocalyptic America. Sophie really struggles with her faith for most of this novel, so you will see a lot of references or outright beliefs, ideals, Bible passages, etc. regarding her Catholic faith and what that means in relation to her supposed sin and fears of hell. And you see that through her eyes because it's first person present tense. You're going to see her judging others, not being mean. She's not saying, oh, that person's a piece of crap and she or he deserves to go to hell. No, she is judging them in the I'm terrified for you, but like you're your own person and like what am I supposed to do? Like that type of thing. At least she's not a nasty person. She is just very, very confused. But you see her grappling with judging herself mainly for most of this book because she doesn't want to sin and she doesn't want to go to hell and she doesn't want other people to sin and go to hell. And this is something that is very much in line with Catholicism and a lot of other religions. But she is beginning to learn you don't need to do that to yourself or others. You can live a life without constant fear and judgment and still be a good person and still do good things. A great part of this book is the apocalyptic trope of a ragtag group getting together because of the sky falling, basically. And then trying to stay together to reach their safe final destination. And that trope is a big part of this novel as well. The main people in the group, besides Sophie, are Ben, Morrow, Helen, Wyatt, Cleo, and Barghast, a cutesy-wootsy, vicious little dog. Well, not really a little dog. He's big. But, like, all dogs are kind of cutesy-wootsy little pups to me, so it's fine. I kind of picture him as a Cane Corso, but he could also be like a pit bull or a Rottie, like it's a bully breed or a working dog, but it's very big, so that's why I'm thinking bully breed. Just thinking out loud there randomly. I'm just saying I always love seeing animal companions in books. That's just my favorite trope. But please note this is a horror novel, so there's a lot of death and not everyone makes it out alive, and their deaths, I'm not going to say who, but their deaths are not pretty. Not pretty. I would say the main point, the main plot is to get to Noah, but it's also surviving, and you're just, when the sky's falling, it's apocalyptic, it's a horror novel as well, it's not going to go well for you, right? So this is not easy. It's not easy for Sophie. It's not easy for anyone, obviously. It's just not. It's not a great ride. And just to expand a little bit on where Noah is, and this is talked about in the beginning of the novel, he does some things. I'm not going to spoil what, but the parents find out, and then they send him to like a Catholic nonprofit organization, place, whatever. I'm just gonna go with that. But it's where parents send their kids when they are full of sin. Just full of sin. And they're trying to save them. So it's about 250 miles away from Sophie's home. And Sophie is always thinking about getting to Noah. And that's her drive. As well as just like not getting killed. It's the small things in life. I gave this book 4 stars because there's a solid 55-ish pages of a slump in the middle of the book where we're traveling to a shelter and then they're stuck in the shelter and not much happens. The pacing is basically off. Lots of talk going on, especially about getting out and finding Noah, but that doesn't happen. So like there's many instances of I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna find Noah, I'm gonna find Noah, you know, over and over and over and over again, and then nothing happens in that strain. Now, is that realistic? Yes, but I think it could have been worked a little better, just a little better, because there is a big event that happens. Very violent, per usual. Violent event that does get her and her group out of that shelter, and then they go back into focusing-ish kind of on finding Noah, and then it picks back up again. Overall, I definitely enjoyed American Rapture. I was not raised Catholic, though I do suspect that CJ was raised Catholic, and this is a type of book that she is working through some traumas, childhood traumas regarding Catholicism and her beliefs, and also talking and showing good versus evil and over-sexualization and how that affects people and is it good or bad, and also speaking about sexism and homophobia and religion. There's a lot of things that CJ talks about, and I think she does it very well. I gave it 4 stars just because of the middle, not because of anything that she wrote or discussed. Thank you so much for watching my book review on American Rapture by CJ Leede. I'll see you in the next video. Read, write, do whatever you need to do for self-care, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.